Chairman, Access Holdings PLC, Igboje Ike Imokwede, has applauded the Nigerian exchange group, NIGEX, for its pivotal role in bolstering corporate governance across the Nigerian business environment. He was speaking at the Access Holdings Facts Behind the Rights Issue presentation held Tuesday at the Nigerian Stock Exchange in Lagos, where he stated that efforts of the exchange have not only fostered a more ethical business environment, but have also increased investor confidence, ultimately driving economic growth in the nation. AV1 News Report brings you highlights of the event.
Despite the many opportunities to stand like this, I've always remained very humble when I do so. For two reasons. The Nigerian Stock Exchange, now the NGX Group, represents in many ways things that do not stand very, very obvious in our country today. The men and women who established this exchange, it's supporting institutions, and it's not a coincidence that the central bank is just next door. They built this country. They financed the roads and bridges. The institutions that you see around, including that we are coming to the market to sell its shares, Access Holdings, as a result of their efforts, and I applaud them. And I find it a great privilege that this market chose Access Bank and now Access Holdings as its darling.
It's the Access Bank Holdings Facts Behind the Rights Issue presentation at the Nigerian Exchange, an event which brings with it memories of the bank from its early beginnings and a key figure in its success story, the late Herbert Wigwe. The Access Bank's story certainly cannot be told without the mention of his name.
Access Holdings PLC and Access Bank Limited, the entity that started it all, are what I would refer to as a phenomenon, conceived by phenomenal Nigerians. The bank was incorporated in 1989 and began operation shortly after, but it really took off when the two brightest, courageous, and forward-looking men that I have ever met, Igboje Ike Imokwede and Letaba Wige, took over the bank in 2002.
A moment's silence observed in memory of a titan in Africa's financial scene as described by many in the sector. From its humble beginnings as a small bank more than 2 decades ago to a financial institution with branches spread across Nigeria, Africa, and beyond, Access Bank PLC has grown over the years. Chairman of its holding company, Igboje Ike Imokwede, says dedication to keeping promises and a collective resolve to support talent while pursuing a global vision for African leadership in banking have fostered its growth and expansion through the years.
In 2002, the promise was in 5 years' time, we would go from 70 to 10. I believe the promise was kept. In 2007, the promise was we would go from top 10 to top 5. That ended in 2012. I thank God that as I retired in 2013, we were number 4. I think that's a promise. And as I retired, I helped my partner and brother Herbert tell the market what Herbert was shy to say. 2013, right? In 5 years' time, it will be top 3. So 2018, top 3. And so Herbert in 2018 announced that in 5 years' time, it will be top 1. And by 2022, so it was. So, Bolaji and Roosevelt will be talking about promises they intend to keep. And I've worked with them literally all their professional careers. I can assure you that even if as I was every time I made a promise, and Herbert was every time he made a promise. They're a bit nervous, a bit concerned, as every leader or group of leaders should be. The difference is that they are actually better trained, more capable, more tested than we were when we made our promises. So I can go to sleep on your promises. Today's ceremony speaks to our collective resolve as boards, that's the board of the holding company, the boards of the subsidiaries, of course, including the banking group, to support this phenomenal set of talent, whether in management or officers on the shop floor, that we've been privileged to govern at Access Bank and Access Holdings, and to give them every support to realize the dream of an African, to prove to the world that in Africa, from Africa, can be people who will be global leaders.
Meanwhile, the managing director of the bank, Roosevelt Ogbonna, highlighted its commitment to sustainable growth and strategies, which include substantial investments in technology, strategic acquisitions, and partnerships with international banks.
As at Q1, for anyone who's bothered to look at our reports, we grew 32% between Q1 and December last year and closed at about 32.5 trillion. The institutional sustainable growth rate is north of 30. We are the fastest growing bank in the continent. Over the course of the last 10 years, and this is what we've shared in all our analyst reviews, we have been in an investment mode. And what does that entail? It's meant that we've gone to new markets, we made investment in scale, infrastructure, technology, waiting for the day that the payoff will happen. I think where we are today is that we're transiting from that investment mode to a consolidation mode.
Meanwhile, CEO of the Nigex Group, Temi Bukwola, elaborated on the exchange's digital transformation efforts, emphasizing the ease and efficiency of the new system for distributing securities.
You would remember that historically, the distribution of securities in our market has to do with taking paper forms. When there's a rights issuances or public offers, you fill those forms, you start to look for brokers and give that to them to put in the order book. That comes, of course, with all sorts of challenges, epitomized by things like e-dividend challenges and perhaps even the success of distribution. We're very pleased at the exchange, I would say, group of companies to announce, we have mentioned this over the past couple of days, that we finally are at that point. And I spoke to the history that got us there. We've had several building blocks, but at least certainly now yesterday, for the first time, at least in the history of the exchange, not just can you now consume the securities digitally, we've also built something that allows a plug-in to literally any institution that can consume technology and can consume APIs. So as we go along this journey with Access, with many of the other financial institutions, you will find that the ability to buy the securities is extremely easy. Wherever it is that you're consuming your financial products, you will find that opportunity there to click a few buttons and be able to invest. And that journey for us at the exchange, a big part of it also I mentioned and appreciated Mr. Ivy Mokwede, who supported us through that journey. So we're looking very much forward to this process. We think that it's a new dawn, it's a new day as far as just our capital markets are concerned. Most of these securities, we hope that by the time we're done, a huge portion will be electronic.
Shareholders of the bank responding to the offer expressed optimism that it will be oversubscribed while encouraging its management to build on its current efforts by increasing engagement with the investing public.
You must continually engage the investing public, because the more you do, the more you are going to get the different parts of all. Not 2, 3, 4 investors are the same, but the more you are able to aggregate those different perspectives and views, the chances are high that you'll be able to do far better than what your contemporary.
I thank you, and I like your boldness. Each time you come around, you will do what you normally do. Whether you like it or not, your stock will be oversubscribed. And the dividend that you have been paying, small, will go up to the roof.